welcome to my channel. On this channel, I like to show you how to make simple, cute things. And today what we're going to do is make little covered journals. If you have a notebook, like one or two of these sitting around the house, you only need one, or if you even have the larger size, then I want to show you how you can turn these into these little cuties. Aren't they sweet? You could use these for taking notes or writing down things you don't want to forget, making a list, making a cute little junk journal, really just anything. It would really make a nice gift. And also, I'm going to show you how to make a little enclosure from a simple piece of elastic, like this. See that? So I hope you'll follow along as I show you how to make these, and it's really a lot of fun. Well, let's talk about the materials that you'll need. First of all, you'll need a little mini notebook like this, which you can find like at a dollar store or Walmart or Target. Sometimes they come in a package of 3, and you can use a larger size if you want to as well, because the same process will work no matter the size. You'll also need to have a napkin, a pretty napkin that you want to cover your notebook with. So I went into my napkin drawer. I don't know, do you have a napkin drawer? And I found different types of napkins. This is one that I used to cover the sample journal that I'm showing you today. This one has little wine bottles and grapes on it. That's pretty cute. I had a few that were just solid colors. I'm not sure I would like those for this project. They would work, but you might want to decorate a little bit more. This one I thought was pretty cute with the little diagonal kind of plaidish looking colors. And the one that I chose to use for today's project is this gold and white napkin. And then also you need to have something like Mod Podge to do the gluing of the napkin onto the notebook. And it's nice to have like a craft brush or an older brush, but you definitely don't want to use one of your nice paint brushes. Even though the glue washes out, try to reserve your nice paint brushes for painting and just use some crafty brush or older brush. And then I always have scissors handy, paper towel, a ruler, and this is some freezer paper that we'll use when we glue the cover down. This freezer paper will keep the cover from gluing to the pages. So that's what you need to get. Oh, and I forgot one more thing. You'll need a piece of elastic, and that will be used for the tie that we're going to put around the notebook to keep it closed. It could be any color of elastic, and the length of it just needs to be like double the height, unless you want to wrap it around the other way, and then a little bit more. So nothing too scientific, but try not to cut it too short. Okay, let's get started. One thing I want to point out is that this napkin is on the darker side, and so it pretty well covered up the cover of the notebook. But if you use a napkin that's on the lighter side or is white, you'll see that actually I got to open it up all the way. You can see the cover of the notebook through it. See how that green shows? I don't know if you can see it unless I put it up there. So I guess what I'm saying is I would recommend you choose a darker napkin, but if you do choose something lighter like I'm going to do with this, then I recommend that you cover your notebook first with either white paper, or what I did is I covered my notebook first with some white sticky labels, and that works just fine. So when I put the napkin over it, it does not show through anymore. I'll show you really quick. You can see it doesn't show through. Well, it does show through, but the white shows through, and that's perfectly fine. So no matter which type of napkin that you choose, the first thing you want to do is peel the layers apart from each other. I don't know if you realize, but napkins usually have 2 layers. I think it's called 2-ply. So you have to get a hold of the corner, and sometimes it's tricky separating the two. But when you do, you'll see that you're left with just the colored part on the top. And like that. So that's what we would be using to cover our notebook. So I already did the separation on this napkin, and I want you to see this napkin. I've not ever seen one like this before. It has the beautiful shiny gold, but only in one of the quadrants. But I think that will make the cover interesting because it'll be on the front, it'll extend a part of the back, and then it will just be this goldish color. I think it'll be sort of fun. So we're gonna go ahead and use this napkin. So the first thing, I'll get my other notebooks out of the way and open up my glue. So the first thing we want to do is cut down the cover to size. So it's like covering a book. If you ever have covered a book, you want to have some room on the edges to fold back over. So I'm going to actually just cut my napkin right across there. It's a good starting point. And I can just follow the fold. And it doesn't have to be a perfect kind of cut or anything, because even when you fold it over your notebook, that part is going to be covered up later in the process. So my scissors aren't the greatest. So, okay, so now we have enough for, let's just say, the front cover, the back cover, and then a little extra. So I'm just going to check that again. Got some allowance on the edge, and then we want to do like that, and we want some allowance on the edge. So I'm thinking just something like this. I'll just put a fold there, and I'm going to just cut this across there, like so. Okay, now the general idea of this is that what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little fold to start it out. I'm going to put my notebook, the front of it, face down, and then I'm going to bring this back over. I'm going to do another little fold. So now I feel like I've got it under control. You know, I'm not wrestling with it anymore. So you see the back is going to be kind of cute. I like that, where the gold isn't all the way across. Okay, so now we'll open it back up. So now you see we've got quite a bit of extra. I maybe left too much extra there, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this in about there. So I'm going to just give this a fold. It's kind of like wrapping a present too, like that. And then we need another fold for this part here, something like that. The thing that I like about working with napkins, well, there's an up and a downside. The downside is that they're very thin and fragile, although they work great for something like this, and they're used in many different projects. I guess that's the downside, but the upside is they're very pliable and soft, and they are also very forgivable. So now I'm going to open that back up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue on this part of my notebook. So I'm going to use my Mod Podge and just dig in there, kind of get that out of the way. And I'm going to put some nice glue and try not to go, well, be careful not to go onto the pages of your notebook. So you want to keep your glue just on the front cover. Don't let your brush go over here, or you will be gluing your pages shut, and I promise you, you probably don't want that. So let's do that. And then I like to smooth it out so that we don't have little glunky stuff showing through the napkin. And then I'm also going to put a little bit of glue on the spine like this. I'm not worried about the back yet. We're going to just do the front. Okay. Wipe my hands off on the paper towel. All right, so now I'm going to place my napkin kind of where I had it. Let's see here. See where my fold mark is. Like so. I guess with this particular pattern, I want to make sure it's straight because it has stripes in it. So I guess we'll find out when this project is done if this was a good choice or not. So I'm going to go like that. And then this part is going to go in, but we're not going to worry yet about, oops, I see that I'm off quite a bit. So let's just pick it up. Nothing's lost. So hopefully you don't have a striped napkin and need to worry about that. So let's try it again. It actually might help if I just did it this way. Like that. That way I can see a little bit better. Okay, I got a better feeling for that. Oh, I think we're in business now. Okay, so then this part is going to go under, and we're not going to glue it yet. We're going to just turn this around to the back, like so. So now I need to put some glue on the back, just the same way as we did on the front. I really love little projects like this because I love to give things away, and I love to share a little bit of craftiness, kindness with friends and family. And I like to use the things I make for myself occasionally. Usually I give them away though. All right, so we got that. So then we're going to just bring it over. And it looks like the stripes are pretty good. And like that. And just smooth it out. Like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. Like that. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is I like to cut out a little slot right here where it's going to go, right here where the book comes together. I like to cut out just a little slot there. And then the same thing at the top. Cut out just, you don't want to cut out a lot, but you'll see when you fold it over why this is handy. Like that. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue. Oh, and I'm also going to round these edges a little bit so we don't have so much to work with. Round the edges. Okay. And then we're going to put some glue on our napkin to bring it over to the other side. Like so. Okay, and what I think I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to bring around the corner first, like that, and bring the side in like that. And like I said, this part is going to be covered up, so it doesn't have to be real pretty, but you do want to have a nice corner. And if you notice, the corners on these notebooks are rounded. Like so, and like so. And just take a little paper towel, and now this is where the freezer paper comes in handy. So you see it's not all that pretty on the inside right now, but it's going to be okay. So I'm going to put that inside there to keep it from gluing to the pages. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is the same thing as we did on the other side. I'm going to cut the corners, the rounded corners a little bit. Got it stuck to my scissors. After a while, you'll find that everything sticks to your fingers because you're working with this glue. Another thing that I find really helpful is to put down a piece of paper before we get started. And I failed to do that, so I'm trying to be careful that I don't mess up my desk area too much. But it helps to have a piece of paper or like a old cutting board or something that you work on. But you know, sometimes we don't get everything planned out perfectly. So let's get the rest of this just gluing around here. And like I said, this need not be perfect at all. I'm going to start with the corner, and then I'm going to do the other corner. Then I'm going to bring up the sides, or the top and the bottom, I should say. Pull it around. The thing about napkins is they really take well to glue. You don't have to worry about them sticking. Something like that. And then I'm going to just press it down with my napkin. And then we're going to put a piece of that freezer paper. I think parchment paper would work, and probably wax paper. And then, oh, well, I noticed that my stripes are pretty good, but they're not perfect. You see that? A little bit crooked. But chances are you're using a print of some kind. So, but either way, it's going to still be just fine. So now we're going to let that dry before we do the next step. So we're coming into the home stretch of covering our notebook. So I made a monumental decision here. I decided not to use my striped napkin for the inside. And you might choose that too. You might want to have something that's contrasting for the inside of yours. But I didn't want to get into the business of matching stripes. And I sort of think if I didn't match them, it wouldn't look so great. So what I decided to use is a solid napkin. And so I created 2 rectangles, and these notebooks say that they are 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, at least the one that I've got. You'll want to measure yours. So I made my rectangular square to be about 1/4 inch on all the sides. So, well, basically 1/4 inch smaller on the sides. So I did 3 inches by 4 1/4. So what I suggest you do is you put it in there and check it out to make sure it's a good size before you glue it in. So I think this will work out great. And actually, I think this is the one I want to use on the front. It looks pretty cute in there, and it's kind of bright and cheerful. So we're going to go ahead and glue this one, and then we're going to put that freezer paper back in here. So I got myself a piece of paper to work on. So we'll glue that in. And again, it's not going to take a lot of glue for this napkin. And you know what? I did not separate my plies on this part. I probably should have, but maybe it'll work okay without doing that. It's just one little step I forgot. Okay, so we got that on there. Get our notebook, and we'll lay it in there. Kind of line up the inside edge with the notebook. Ooh, I had a little piece tear. It's still going to be okay. We're going to reposition it a little bit, and then we'll cover up that tear. It'll be just fine. Okay, I'm going to use my napkin to smooth it a little bit, or I mean my paper towel. And that looks pretty cute. And then make sure you put your paper in between while it's drying. Then we'll do the same thing on the next one. So this one I wanted to do like that, so that I'll just show you when we open it, you can kind of see the frame of the napkin there and the frame of this one. They sort of complement each other. It's no big deal, but I just thought that was fun. All right, so we're gonna put a little glue on this and put that on. And then we're gonna let it dry, and then we're going to make a closure for it, a very super simple closure. You can do it in about 1 minute. I thought of different ways to show you, but then when I thought of this particular way, I said, this will work and it's pretty cute. Okay, so put this inside. After a while, you get to be all fiddle fingers because of all the glue. It'd be handy to have some wipes available too. Some baby wipes, those come in handy. Oh, I think that's laying in there just fine. So we'll do like that and then we'll put this in there. There we go. We're ready now to do the closure, and then our project is all done. And now we're on the home stretch of our project, and the only thing we have left to do is to do the elastic enclosure. And if you see on this one that I made as a sample, it's just simply a piece of elastic with a knot in it. You could make it go this way or this way, whichever you like, and you just pop it off when you want to open your notebook. So I measured my elastic to be 2 times the height and then some extra. I always cut a little bit more than I think I'll need because I'd rather have a little bit to cut off than have not enough. So just wrap it around your notebook, whichever direction you want to go, and give it a little tug and kind of pinch that spot. And what that means is that spot is going to be where you want your knot to go. So the knot that we're going to tie is we're going to tie these 2 ends of the elastic together, and you're going to do just like as if you're tying your shoes. Same thing, just an overhand knot. Just bring both of those ends. It's messing with me. We'll get the other one in here. And before you tie it tight, put it back on your notebook and see if it's about the right size. By golly, I think this will work. And so now I'm going to tighten it up a little bit till I have a pretty decent looking knot. And there we go. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to just cut at an angle the end of the elastic. There you go, and your project is all done. Pretty cute. I hope you enjoyed this project. I think maybe I will keep one for myself and give another one away. What will you do with your notebook? Please let me know in the comments below. So if you think that I earned it and you enjoyed my video, I would love for you to become a subscriber and also to like my video. Thank you so very much, and I shall see you the next time. Bye.